Finally, we are getting a best on best tournament coming up very soon. And so that leads to a lot of discussion when it comes to the world of hockey. And so today, I am dipping my toe in those waters and giving my roster for what I would do for Team Canada at the upcoming Four Nations, whatever it's called. Let's start with the forward group. On my first wing, I have Alexis Lafreniere, Connor McDavid, and Mitch Marner. Marner, this recent run with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I'm recording this on Tuesday night, so I don't think by the time you hear this, anything may have changed with him with the Leafs, but he has been on just an incredible tear with Austin Matthews out of the lineup, and I think really has shown that he is one of the more talented players in the league. Connor McDavid kind of goes without saying, and Alexis Lafreniere is getting to that level of a superstar that we all thought he was going to be when he was drafted. My second line, Marchand, Crosby, and McKinnon. Marchand and Crosby have the chemistry of many a best-on-best tournament gone by, and Nathan McKinnon is just freaking awesome, and Crosby and McKinnon have to be on a line together. Those are the rules. The third line, I've noticed not a whole lot of left shots out there at the forward group for the Canadians. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but in terms of guys who could fit in these bottom roles, there wasn't a whole lot. So we went with Sam Reinhart on the left side, along with Scheifele and Bedard. Bedard, you can maybe make a case that there are some more deserving players now, but I think that this gives him this experience and gets him kind of ready for what it is going to be for the Olympics. And also, it's just like he has that high-end game-breaking ability that some of the other guys can't necessarily bring. Scheifele, I think, has earned it given his play with the Winnipeg Jets. And Reinhart, you score 1 billion goals last year, you should make it on the team. Now, I will say that didn't work for Hyman, but he is off to a extremely slow start this season. And my fourth line, this would just be a mother to play against. I have Sam Bennett, Braden Point, and Mark Stone. I think defensively, this team would give you a whole lot of problems. Like I said, they would be miserable to play against. They have size, they have speed, they all can score. And so I think this is the type of line that Canada falls in love with at this quick tournament at the Four Nations, and then maybe off to the Olympics next year. My extra forwards then are Suzuki and Steven Stamkos. So my forward group again, Lafreniere, McDavid, Marner, Marchand, Crosby, McKinnon, Reinhart, Scheifele, Bedard, Bennett, Point, Stone, and Suzuki and Stamkos as the extras. On the blue line, we have a couple of pairs that are sticking together. I have Makar and Devon Toews as one pair. They are the best defensive pairing in the National Hockey League. Don't mess with it. Then we have a couple Golden Knights as Pietrangelo and Shea Theodore make it onto this squad. I just think their talent wins it out more than any kind of teammate familiarity. And then my third pairing, it is Morrissey and Ekblad. I think Ekblad, given that run to the Stanley Cup, probably deserves to be on here. And Morrissey, I just think is just so incredibly talented that I think you have to go with him. This next pick, I kind of bounced around a few different names. I think you can see the hat. So obviously Mackenzie Weegar was a name that certainly came to mind very, very quickly. But I'm going a little bit more with something I talked about before with the forward group, and maybe didn't go into it as much. But I do think that part of this should also be a bit of a learning experience. This is certainly a tournament you want to take seriously. We're not going to send the World Junior team over there to just get their brains beat in by a bunch of adults. But I do also think that part of this is we haven't had a best on best in a really long time. And we have a really big one coming up with the Olympics in 2026. So let's get a few guys ready and kind of acclimated to the experience. Think Christian Leitner on the 92 Dream Team and what Caitlin Clark maybe should have been on the women's basketball Olympic team this last year. But I'm going with Owen Powers. I think that, again, there are maybe a few more veteran defensemen who could be worthy of this spot, but I think Powers is very, very good. And I think that kind of defenseman of the future sort of a thing gives him a spot here, give him this experience. So with him, with Bedard, and even a little bit with Nick Suzuki, give these young kids the opportunity to see what this tournament is like, be around some of these pros, and see the level that is expected of you going forward. So again, my defense is Makar, Toews, Pietrangelo and Theodore, Morrissey, Ekblad, and then on the as the extra, I have Owen Powers. In goal, I have gone the exact opposite of the bring the kids and help them along. strategy. Binnington is our number one, almost by default. This is, everyone has talked about this. This is the very clear and obvious weakness of the Canadian team. I have Adin Hill as the number 2, and I went Marc-Andre Fleury at number 3. Will they go this way? Probably not. But play-wise, he's actually not far off from being the 3rd best Canadian goalie in the NHL right now. I think the experience that he brings in these types of events is obviously very important as well. And I think, again, meshing as someone who can be good in the room, I think having that in a very quick tournament like this is going to be very, very important to help these guys along. So I actually think there is a bit of a strategic side of this there, instead of just the, oh, shucks, look at the old guy part of it that I think a lot of people are going with. So my goalies again, Binnington, Hill, and Marc-Andre Fleury. Those are my picks for who I think will be on Hockey Canada's roster. I'm sure you all agree with that 100%. So let me know in the comments how much you agree with my selections there.